Hey everybody, we're going to talk today about what to do with some of the tomatoes and the other things that are in the basket. This is a salsa recipe for you. I have my very special friend here, Lorenzo Caponetti.
Hello everyone, it's good to be here today.
Lorenzo comes to us from Toscania in Italy, from a beautiful farm, olive oil and mixed. I asked him to come in today to help me because Italians know how to cook really well, and I figured he could help me out and make me look more legitimate.
Hey, and cooking and eating is always something that is social, right? So you need some friends to pitch in from time to time.
That's right. There's nothing I'd rather do than do this with you right now. So here we go.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to show you a really simple salsa recipe that I make pretty much all season. It's one of these things that even after a blazing hot day, working all day, I can get home and it's really quick to make, and it lasts for a few days. Actually, it gets better the more we leave it in the fridge. It kind of ferments and all the flavors mix with each other. We're going to show you how to do this, and the first thing we're going to do is really take the base ingredients. So really all you need is a knife and a food processor. Just real basic. What we're going to do is, Lorenzo, if you could open up, 3-4 cloves of garlic. Take the skins off those, and I'll take the skins off these onions here. What we're going to do is make a mix. First, just pulse all of the non-tomato products right now, just to make a mix. It definitely helps to put garlic and onion and the herbs in there first before you get all the liquid from the tomato to go into the food processor. So we'll do all these first. They really don't need to be much, just open them up and cut them in half, or if you have, I use maybe 3 or 4 little onions like this. Maybe you'll have a big onion. Really all of this, there's no specific recipe except for what you really like and the ratio that works. Some people don't have huge affinity for onions, so just go light on it, but it is nice to just mix them in. You don't need to do a lot of preparation with these because really all we're doing is going to throw them right into the Cuisinart. So once we're clear, we'll throw those in. Depending on how spicy you like this, I'll put a couple of jalapenos in here. Sometimes with the boys we'll just do a half of one so it's not too spicy. This year, with all the rain and everything we had, the peppers aren't really that spicy. I don't know if that changes for you. You don't get much summer rain though, right?
Not at all.
But you guys eat much spicy food?
Not with the kids in the home right now, with the little ones, but yes. Otherwise, there are some spicy things in Italian cooking. You should know if you're from Calabria.
They're very spicy. My family all made everything they cooked was spicy and painfully cooked, painfully spicy. So, but I know sometimes up closer to Tuscany, you said you're about an hour and a half north of Rome.
Yes, we're between Rome and what you call Tuscany.
Yeah.
Which is the Tuscan border today. I say 2,500 years ago was the same thing. Our town is called Tuscania, so there's definitely a link.
Now, really, I've never gotten to visit your place, and I really can't wait till I can do that.
So how do you know it's beautiful? You said it's beautiful. How do you know it?
Well, I've seen pictures.
These are 3 big ones.
Perfect.
I think that's enough, isn't it?
You like garlic?
I like garlic, but okay, good.
That's good. 3 is perfect, I think.
Okay. 3 is
what we can do is maybe cut this red pepper.
You want all of this, or you want half of this?
Well, let's do half, just to show how we'll mince it in the end. And we have some cilantro here, just a handful of cilantro to put in. We probably have enough here, just like that. And then I'll grab this.
You want the white end, or you don't here?
White's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just want to just...
Now I'm going to put just a pinch of salt in here. Depending on how much salt you want to eat, whether or not your chips are salted, that all is going to matter in terms of what you like in terms of the amount of salt. Half a teaspoon is probably plenty. All right, and then we put those red peppers in. So what we're going to do is put the cap on this, and we'll give this first part a pulse. Oh, this is a nice one. It's so quiet. I got mine. I've been using mine for about almost 20 years. I bought it for $1 at a yard sale. It was probably 20 years old. Okay.
That's why you don't know how to deal with it.
I know, it's also modern. Let's see, there's a little spoon in there.
There's a spatula, not a
Spatula is good.
Whatever.
I'm just going to give it a little scoop to take the stuff
Want
off
this?
the edges. Oh, that's really nice in there. That does a way better job than mine. So one of the other things about Lorenzo's farm, Casa Caponetti, is that he has a very old artifact and a very old village in this space, Etruscan.
Yeah. We have about 20 acres of our land, of 125 that we have total that are in, archaeological remains. We have everything and anything that goes from any time around 2800 years ago, all the way up to World War II. It's kind of like being in the middle of history. We have a quarter of a mile of what was the first road ever paved by the Romans. We have a couple of hundred caves that have been dug by the Etruscans as graves. And we have this amazing water tunnel that was dug about 2700 years ago in order to produce water that is still giving us water today in a liquid form. And if you walk the whole thing, you don't see the water coming in. It's kind of magic because it's actually able to produce water, and it's still giving us water today, which is pretty awesome.
I like how you said the other day, what kind of things do we build now that are going to last for 3,000 years?
Yeah, that is kind of a tricky question. But hey, we can breed seeds. We can do something for the future, right now.
So true. And you said a lot of that irrigation system had to do with the kind of the way it collects the dew from the morning and gets it into the ground.
There's various kind of things going on. The main one is related to the bedrock. Our bedrock is like a sort of sponge. It's all former volcanic ashes that are very easily filled up with water. They can retain almost 40% of our rainfall, and then they will give it away slowly. That's what the tunnel does. It creates a deep pressure into the bedrock, and so the water is naturally kind of seeping in. But it's kind of striking how well engineered that is, because there's micro droplets coming in and there's one continuous flow getting out continuously, and it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
So what have you done here?
So what I'm going to do right now is I've cut up the darker tomatoes. So we have a number of different types of tomatoes here. This one in the front is called Roasted Baron. The one in the back is a variety called, well, we call it Martha, but it's really called Brandywise. We have a couple other orange types. This is Chef's Choice, and another variety called Persimmon. And then a very beautiful, sort of unique tomato here called Lucid Gem that has a black skin when it's unripe and green, and then it turns this sort of surprising red-orange that comes out of this after, and that's really great. We also have a couple of different cherries with sun gold and a grape tomato called Montesino. And then we're going to have this other half. So what we want to do now is we'll take this half of the tomatoes here. I like to do the red ones because it's just the way the sauce goes, just in terms of color, why I separate these. But also I try to use the tomatoes that are a little firmer for dicing and chopping, because they help to add texture to the salsa when we're done. So I'll take the softer heirlooms and use those for the sauce first, and then we'll dice up the other stuff. So
Okay.
Everything else here we're going to dice.
Yeah. So you want me to dice
yeah,
this
sure.
too?
Dice that up in small, and then we'll drop these guys in here. Right. We just want to make sure everything's broken up, but there's no reason to whip too much. At this point, also, I like to add a little bit of olive oil. I don't do it at the beginning because the olive oil has a tendency to get a little bit hot and lose some of its flavor, but also it emulsifies and turns the stuff kind of creamy. So we put it in right at the end, and it's a little bit easier. So I'm just going to put 2 tablespoons maybe of oil in there, and then give it a pulse to mix it in. And we're pretty much done with this for now. We're going to pour this in the bowl. Take some tomato. Really, you could, in the mixing process, you could add tomatillos or husk cherries or some other kind of alum too to blend that up, and that works really well. Let's see, we're ready to go there.
I think
We
we
can
are.
just mix those right in. Beautiful. What we're going to do is just blend that whole thing together, give it a nice mix around. You can see Lorenzo and I had little different styles of cutting the tomatoes. A lot of this has to do with what you really prefer when you eat it. If you love big pieces of tomato, that one lucid gem, like something like that, there's no real way to do this. Every way is all about how you want to explore the mix and match of amounts and stuff that goes together. No matter how you do it, the products you're dealing with are fresh and delicious, and they're going to blend together to your liking no matter what. And I just encourage you to make this recipe over and over through the course of the summer. You don't always need cilantro, you don't always need onions, however you want to make it, but this is my favorite way. And thanks, Lorenzo, for helping me out.
Oh, absolutely. It was my pleasure to be here.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
So we have these chips here. Yeah. That's very good. All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.